Good afternoon, second grade. It is a beautiful Wednesday, October the 14th day outside. So here is your math for today. Okay, we're going to need your sprint and just get sprint A. You can do sprint B on your own some other time today or tomorrow. Okay, so you need sprint A. You will need your application problem. Okay, you will need the problem set. Okay, and I think you might have 2 pages of the problem set. And then you'll need your exit ticket. So those are the papers that you're going to need today. Okay, so we're going to go on and get started with that sprint. Okay, so get your pencils ready. On the sprint, we are adding. You should be able to do this one. You should all be able to do this one. Okay, so pencils up. When my timer goes off, it'll be time for you to stop. Ready? Go. Okay, there's the timer. Pencils down. Hey, here we go. We are ready. We are ready here. So, number 1, 11. Number 2, 12. Number 3, 13. Number 4, 16. Number 5, 16. Number 6, 11. Number 7, 12. Number 8, 13. Number 9, 18. Number 10, 18. Number 11, 11. Number 12, 12. Number 13, 13. Number 14, 17. Number 15, 17. Number 16, 11. Number 17, 15. Number 18, 11. 19, 12. Number 20, 14. 21, 14. 22, 16. 23, 11. 24, 12. 25, 11. 26, 12. 27, 11. 28, 12. 29, 11. 30, 15. 31, 13. 32, 15. 33, 15. 34, 13. 35, 13. 36, 14. 37, 14. 38, 15. 39, 15. 40, 12. 41, 14. 42, 16. 43, 18. 44, 13. Okay, I hope everybody did really well with that one. Good job. And like I said, you can do B sometime later on today on your own. Okay, you can do B on your own. Okay, we are ready for our application problem. So if you get your application problem out, we will be ready to work on that. Okay? So, This is what my application problem says. For an art project, Daniel collected 15 fewer maple leaves than oak leaves. He collected 60 oak leaves. How many maple leaves did he collect? Let's listen to that again. For an art project, Daniel collected 15 fewer maple leaves than oak leaves. He collected 60 oak leaves. How many maple leaves did he collect? Okay, well, let's think about what we said. He had 15 fewer maple leaves. So, he had 15 fewer maple leaves. Fewer means he had less, right? He had less. So, fewer. He had less. 15 fewer maple leaves. Okay? Then oak leaves. He had 60 oak leaves. He has 60 oak leaves. Okay? Two different types of leaves that they're talking about off two different trees. My question is, well, how many maple leaves does he have? How many? I want to know how many maple leaves? How many maple leaves? Okay? How many maple leaves? That's my question. How many maple leaves? Well, it says he has 15 fewer than the oak. So if we have fewer, we want to know how many fewer, then we need to subtract. That's one of those words that tells us that we're going to subtract. Okay, so we're going to subtract right there. Okay, well, let's do a problem. Let's do our problem here. Okay, let's do a tape diagram today. Okay, so I know that we're going to subtract. So I'm going to put, here's my 60 leaves. And since I'm subtracting, our tape is separate. And here's my 15 that I have. Okay? If I'm subtracting, do I need that roof or do I need the basement? I need that basement because my number's going to get smaller. My number's going to get smaller. So I need that basement. Okay? And I'm going to find out that basement number, that smaller number. Okay, well, I needed a problem. 60, and we said we was going to subtract, minus 15. Okay, 60 minus 15. Okay? Okay, well, I'm going to pull one of my numbers apart. I'm going to pull a 10 out because it would be easier to subtract. Okay? I'm going to pull a 10 out so it would be easier to subtract. So I'm going to pull 10 out of here. If I pull 10 out of 15, I have 5 left, right? So, because if I pull 10 out, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Means I have 5 left. Let's do it again. If I pull 10 out, and I need to count to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm sorry, not 15. Let me recount. Let me start at 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I have 5 left. I have 5 left. So now I can subtract this one and this one. 60 minus 10 gives me what? I've got 60. If I take 10 away, I'm counting backwards by 10, so that would give me 50. Okay? Now I'm going to subtract this number and this number. 50 minus 5 is what? I can count backwards. I'm at 50. I can count back 5. 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. I counted backwards by 5. I started at 50. 49, 48, 47, 46, 45. So he has 45 maple leaves. So let's write that sentence on the back of our paper. He has 45 maple leaves. Yep. So that's what he had left. That's what Daniel has left. He has 45 maple leaves. Okay? So try to get that down. Try to get all that down. Okay? Remember, if you don't get it all copied, pause the video. Go on and press pause so you can copy all that. Okay? You don't have to just stop with what you're copying. You can always press the pause button. Okay? But if you're writing as I'm writing it, you should be able to stay on track. Okay, so that is my application problem. So today, we are going to work with place value again, and we're going to continue working on least to greatest, greatest to least. Okay? So we're going to work on putting numbers littlest to biggest, biggest to littlest. Okay? Greatest to least, least to greatest. That's kind of what we're going to be working on today. That's what we're going to work on. So, if you have your problem set, okay? You have your problem set in your paper. So you have that, but I'm going to explain one to you what I mean. I want greatest to least. What I'm asking for is the biggest, okay, the biggest to the smallest, the biggest to the smallest. That's what greatest to least is, the biggest to the smallest, okay? So let's say I have these numbers. Let's say I have 35, 95, and 87. These are my three numbers. I need to write them from biggest to smallest, greatest to least. So I have my three lines here that I'm going to write my numbers on. Well, the biggest number, I'm looking for the biggest number. So it's kind of like putting things in ABC order. I want to know the biggest number, okay, for this one, the biggest number. And my biggest number is going to go first because I'm going from biggest to littlest. We always do from left to right. So I'm going to go from biggest to littlest. So if I look at the first numbers, 3, 9, and 8, I'm not looking at the whole number. I'm just looking at the 3, the 9, and the 8, okay? The 3, the 9, and the 8. Which number is biggest when I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I said 9 last, so 9 is the biggest. 9 is the biggest. Okay? If I can't figure it out by counting, here's 3. All right. 8. Okay, that's more fingers than 3. 9. Well, that's one more finger than 8. So 95 is my biggest number. I only looked at the first number. 95 is my biggest number. I've used 95. Now, I'm looking between 35 and 87. If I count, which number do I come to last? When I'm counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 8's bigger than 3. Here again. Here's 8. Here's 3. I have more fingers up when I have 8 than I do 3. So, 87 would be my next one. Okay? And then 35 would be my least. Put it in an order from greatest to least. All I have to do is look at the first numbers. Okay? But I know somebody's out there saying, but Mrs. Patterson, wait a minute. What if they all have the same? What if they all have the same number? Or 2 of them have the same number? Just like when we do an ABC order. So let's say we have 42, we have 61, and we have 49. Just like ABC order. Sometimes we have words with the same letter that they begin with. Okay? Well, let's look. 4, a 6, and a 4. I'm still working from greatest to least, or biggest to smallest. Which is my greatest number? 4, 6, or 4? Well, here's 4. Here's 6. I have more fingers up with 6 than I do 4, right? So 61 would be my biggest number. I've used it. Now I have 42 and I have 49. They both start with 4s. Well, if this was a word that both started with C, we would look at the second letter. This is a number. They both start with 4. We're going to look at the second number. We're going to look at the 2, and we're going to look at the 9. Which number is bigger, 2 or 9? Which is bigger? Here's 2. If I have 9, this is 9. I have 9 as more fingers than 2, so 49. And then my 42. Okay? Greatest to least. Biggest to smallest. Okay? I can do it either way. I just told you how you can do it just like we would do an ABC chart. Looking just at the beginning number, if I need to, because they have the same, I can look at the second number. Okay, that's biggest to smallest. Greatest to least. Well, what if I have least to greatest? If I have least to greatest, what I'm really saying is little to big. The littlest to the biggest. The littlest number to the biggest number. I can do the same thing. Let's say I have 3 numbers. I have 73, 29, and I have 52. This time, going from left to right, I want the little to the big. Least to greatest. Least to greatest, going from left to right. I always do these things from left to right. I'm going to do just like I would with ABC order. I'm going to look at my first numbers. Which number is the littlest? 7, 2, or 5? 7, 2, or 5? Well, here's 7. Here's 5. Here's 2. 2 would be the smallest because I only had to have 2 things. So 29 would be my least, my smallest, my littlest. Now I have a 7 and I have a 5. Well, here's 5. I only have 5. If I want 7, I got to have both hands up. So 5 would be smaller. 5 would be smaller. 52. And then 73 would be my biggest number there. Littlest to biggest. Least to greatest. Always going from left to right. All right, well, let's do that same scenario again. Let's do this again. But this time, thinking about ABC order, using an ABC order kind of mental thinking, what if we have 53, 11, and we have 89? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's make this a 59. Let's make this a 59. Hey, I'm only going to look at my first number, just like I would with ABC order. 5, 11, 5. Which is the smallest? I have a 1, I have a 5, and I have another 5. Well, if I hold up a 1, I only have 1 finger, so that's the smallest. 11 would be my least number, my smallest number. Now I have a 5 and a 5. 5 and a 5. They're the same. Just like in ABC order, if we have 2 words that start with a C, we have to look at their second letter. If I have 2 numbers that start with the same, I have to look at their second number. So now I have a 3 and I have a 9. A 3 and a 9. Here's 3. Okay? Here's 9. 3 smaller because I only have 3 fingers up. So 53 and then my 59. Okay? 53 and then my 59. Okay? If we think like we do with ABC order, we should be able to get this. Okay? Okay. So, let's look now at our problem set. On the problem set, you have 3 boxes, okay, that we have to draw some chips in. We're going to draw our chips in those boxes. I'm going to label my boxes. I always label my boxes from left to right, starting with hundreds. Left to right, starting with hundreds. Left to right, starting with hundreds. That's how I always label. Left to right, from left to right, starting with hundreds. Okay? Well, the first one says I have 100 and then 19 ones. I need to draw that. I have 100, okay, 19 ones. They're not telling me I have any tens. They're telling me I have 19 ones. I need to make 19 ones in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, let's see, 17, 18, 19. 19 ones. The middle one is wanting you to do 3 ones and 12 tens. Don't let it fool you just because they have it backwards. Don't let them fool you. How many ones? I want 3. So I'm going to draw 3 ones. Hey, how many tens? This is all tens. 12 tens. They want me to draw 12 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They didn't tell me to draw any hundreds. So I didn't draw any hundreds. Let's look at the next one. The last one says 120. Okay. I'm going to label hundreds, tens, ones. Left to right, I'm labeling hundreds, tens, ones. How many hundreds? I have 1. How many tens? I have 2. How many ones? I don't have any. I don't have any ones because I have 0 there. So here's my numbers. These are my numbers. Okay? Now they're being tricky. They're wanting us to order them from least to greatest. From least to greatest. So they've kind of made it a confusing thing here. But we can figure this out. Okay? If we have to think about this, this one shows us we have 100. If I have 19, I could make a 10 out of this. If I circled my 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I circled 10 of these, I can put a 10 right there, and then these are gone. These are gone. So now I have 100, 110, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 ones. Okay? I have 3 ones. Same way here. If I circle 10 tens, 10 tens make 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, I've circled 10 tens. I know if I have 10 tens, I can make 100. So all of these are gone. These are all gone now. So I have 100, 110, and 3 ones. And over here I have my 120. Okay? Well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to write this as my number. 110, 2 ones, I'm sorry, 1 100, 2 tens, and 3 ones. There's my number. I'm going to do it over here. 100, 110, 9 ones. And there's my number. So I'm looking at this number, 119, this number, 123, and this number, 120, to put from least to greatest. Least to greatest. Okay? Well, let's put these. So I'm going to go from least to greatest. Least to greatest. Little to big. I'm going to look at the first number. Here's a 1. Here's a 1. Here's a 1. Oh my goodness, it's just like putting an ABC order. They're all the same. Now I have to look at the second letter. Here's a 1. Here's a 2. And here's a 2. Well, which is smaller, a 2 or a 1? Which is smaller, a 1 or a 2? A 1 is. So, this number here is my smallest. 119. I've used it. Uh-oh. They both have 1s. They both have 2s. I'm going to have to look at the third number. I have a 3, and I have a 0. Which is smaller, 0 or 3? Which is smaller, 0 or 3? 0 is. So 120 goes here. I've used it. And then 123. Okay? Least to greatest. Smallest to biggest. If I count, I would count in that order. 119, 120, 121, 122, 123. Count those. If I counted, they're going from little to big. Okay? Little to big. And that's what they were asking you to do. It's what they were asking you to do right there. Okay? Well, if you look at the rest of that page, they're going to ask you to do the same thing. Some of them are in word form. So let's do A. On A, and remember, we're going from least to greatest. Little to big. Least to greatest. Little to big. Okay? So, I have 436, 297, 805. Least to greatest. I have a 4, I have a 2, and I have an 8. Which is the littlest? 4, 2, 8. Which number is the littlest? 4, 2, 8. The 2's the littlest. So this number is going to be first. 297. That one's first. Now which number is the smallest? Which number is the smallest now? 4 or 8? Which is the smallest? 4 or 8? The 4 is. So 436. And then we have 805. Least to greatest. Littlest to biggest. Okay? Littlest to biggest. Now, if you look at B, B has one of the numbers written out in words. Okay? B has one of the numbers written out in words. It has 300. This is in word form. 370. 370. I need to make that in a number. 370. So now I've turned it into a number. Now you have your three numbers. 317, 370, 307. Littlest to biggest. You would have to figure that out. They all have 3's. So that's not going to help me, all having 3's. Just like ABC order, I'm going to have to go to the next number. 170, which is least. 1, which is the smallest. 1, 7, or 0, which is the smallest. 1, 7, or 0. Yeah, 0 is the smallest. Oh, I'm going to write this up here. 307. That's my smallest, my least. Now I can look at these two numbers. Which is smallest? 1 or 7? 1 or 7? Well, of course, 1's smaller than 7. Get 370. Okay? Least to greatest. So you can go on and finish that sheet. Remember, some of them are in expanded form and you need to put the numbers together. Okay? Some of them are in expanded form. Then if you look at the back side or the next page of that, you will see that in the next part they want them written from greatest to least. And then number 4, they're wanting you to put the symbols. They're wanting you to put symbols. So you're either going to put greater than, less than, or equal to. So if we do A, we have 700, and then they have a circle, 599, and they have a circle, 388. We're going to start with these two numbers. 700 is greater than, less than, or equal to 599. 7 and 5. Which is greater? The 7. The alligator mouth eats that bigger number. So the big mouth eats this number. So this would be the symbol. Now I'm going to look at this number and this number. So I'm going to look at the 5 and I'm going to look at the 3. Which number is greater? Yeah, the 5. So my two symbols would look like that. So you can try that, putting symbols in there between all of them, okay? And then on your exit ticket, it's asking you to write them from least to greatest for 3 numbers. And then on number 2, it's asking you to write them from greatest to least for your exit ticket that you can do today, okay? I know it's a lot, but we're working with words and numbers. We're working with symbols and numbers. Good luck. I'll be back in a little bit to give you your science assignment.